Hello everyone, welcome to Practice English with Uncle. I hope you're okay and good conditions. Welcome in my channel today. In this lesson, we are going to talk about the part of the sentences or the type of the sentences is regarding about interrogative. As you remember at the last video, we talked about imperative. So for those who are not watched the video, and I will let the link in description, so please go back to watch that apart and then try to make a compare between interrogative and imperative sentences. Okay, good. So interrogative sentences, let to know what is meant. Interrogative sentences is ask questions. So the sentences asks questions. In English, that is called interrogative sentences. So interrogative sentences, it can be yes or no questions, or direct or indirect questions. Interrogative sentences can be alternative questions. Or interrogative sentences, it can be tag questions. So today, let's take to describe a little bit about interrogative sentences by different part. So as you see here, I separated for three groups. So we're gonna take one by one to get more explanations about interrogative sentences in English. Okay, so interrogative sentences, first let you explain a little bit more about be verbs. So first, let's use interrogative sentences by use be verbs. Okay, so be verbs, as you know, is are those called the or be verb in English. Okay, so for example, is he businessman? This interrogative sentences, is he businessman? Okay, be verbs. The answer, it can be yes or no questions. So for example, is he businessman? Yes, he is. No, he is not. So here we use interrogative sentences by what? Be verbs. Okay, good. Let's move to the next. Okay, I will be do a little bit quick here because we already talked about be verbs, and just we have to make sure how to use interrogative sentences in English. So phrase and number two, am I a student? Okay, am I a student? Am is be verb, is V or be verbs. Okay, I'm student. The answer became yes, you are, or no, you are not. As you know, here we use interrogative form or interrogative sentences by use be verbs. Okay, good. Uh, Number three, where you could. So here, use where you could. Okay, where it is be verbs, sentences in interrogative form, because you know always we put the interrogative form at the end of sentences. Okay, could, where you could. Okay, so here we use past platform or we use past sentences. Okay, where past of are, it is be verbs. Good. That is first one. Second, let's look about WH questions or use in interrogative sentences. We're gonna use WH questions. Examples: when does she move, or when does the move start? Interrogative sentences: when does move start? Here, this is interrogative. We use interrogative in the end of sentences. So here we use WH questions to make interrogative sentences. When does the move start? Okay, great. Let's move to next. How long have you had it? Okay, how long have you had it? Here we use W or H question how in interrogative sentences. This sentence is actually present perfect. Okay, good. That is WH questions. Categories number 3. Let's move use auxiliary verb on interrogative sentences. Okay, as you know, auxiliary verb do, does, okay, and did. So here we use auxiliary verb in interrogative sentences. Okay, good. Do you want have a lot of children? Sound like funny questions. Do you want to have a lot of children? We use auxiliary verb do in the sentences called interrogative sentences by putting on or in the end of sentences. Okay, great. Number 2, does he drive well? Or does she drive well? Because as you know, we use does with she, he, it. Okay, does he drive well or does she drive well? Here we use does auxiliary verb in interrogative sentences. It is the really so simple. So there's a lot of questions we always use to ask others by use interrogative sentences. So any questions when you ask others, you will use interrogative questions. It could be direct or indirect or alternative questions or even tag question, yes, no questions. All these things called interrogative sentences. Okay, so this is so simple explanations about how to use interrogative sentences and a little bit explanation to know differentiations, how to use to be, WH question or auxiliary verb, and even tag questions and so on in the interrogative questions. So this simple explanation I hope to be more clear and useful. So try to use them in your everyday English. That is really help you to improve your English. So I hope to be useful for you. So everyone, if you like this video, please, I invite you to subscribe my YouTube channels and don't forget to click the bell, so that is really support us to do a lot. And also, I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and take care.